can I get pregnant? Hi, I'm Dr. Maura McGill, and one of the questions I'm most asked is, how can I get pregnant? This question really only has arisen since the days of second generation pill takers. In my generation, who are grandmothers now, our problem was to avoid getting pregnant. Then we had the pill, and the next generation didn't have too much trouble, but our granddaughters and grandsons are having trouble getting pregnant. So why is this? And there are a couple of reasons. The first is that the hormone imbalance in our community is a much, much larger problem than it used to be. A much larger problem. Mostly girls are estrogen soaked and no progesterone. And without progesterone, the body of the uterus cannot hold a fertilized egg. So you need your progesterone to grow the lining. Estrogen grows the lining, but the progesterone makes it hold the egg. So if you have a chronically low progesterone group, they won't hold the egg. And when you go to IVF, they give you a couple of things to begin with. They give you DHEA, dihydroepiandrosterone. Don't worry about that. It's a precursor of estrogen and testosterone. And it helps to generate enough estrogen and progesterone so that the eggs are fresh, as they say. And then they give you progesterone to make sure that the lining of the womb can hold the egg. And we know that our young generation is very short of progesterone. Why is this? And that's because they're overdone with estrogen. So you have to understand the way the cycle works. You bleed, and then from then on, you're growing an egg ready for release. Once the egg is released, it's available to be fertilized. So the sperms have to be there from day 0 through day release, through day 1 and 2. They usually don't last much more than 3 days. And interestingly, the boy sperms get there fast but die quickly, and the girl sperms are slower but they last longer. So somewhere in that ovulation place in your cycle, you have to have lots of intercourse. So there are lots of sperms. So how do you find out when that is? Well, there are lots of mechanisms. In the old days, you took your temperature every morning before you stirred out of bed. Your vaginal temperature tells you when you ovulate. And you can look for ovulation charts on the internet, and they will tell you how to judge the temperature changes. But you have to take it every morning before you do anything. And after a couple of months, you'll see the change and you'll see where you ovulate. So you know when to have the most sex. The other thing is that you have ovulation measurers now. There are things you buy in the chemist or the pharmacy that will tell you when you ovulate. They are reliable to a certain extent. They're not perfect, but they'll do. So if you're having a lot of sex very early in your cycle or very late in your cycle, you're going to miss out. You need to have a lot of intercourse in the middle of your cycle. And then you need to ensure that you have plenty of estrogen progesterone balance exactly the way it's supposed to be so that you can hold the fertilized egg. Many an egg is fertilized and many an egg is lost. So you can be sure to hold the proper egg if you have the right balance. IVF people always make sure of that while you're going through the cycles. But in my practice, which is not particularly about infertility, I still have 14 babies born. Why? Because once you get the cycle balance of the hormones right, nature says, right, we're on, we can do this. And as long as the girl is having intercourse in the middle of her cycle at the right times, then it's all good. But to prevent the problem that men have, saying, tap, 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 husband, today's the day, come on, we've got to make love now. And of course they can't, because it doesn't happen on order. To avoid that, we say, okay, predict your ovulation and your periods over a couple of months. and then go away for a week or weekend right at the right time. Relax, enjoy yourself, have a good time, make sure before you go there that your hormones are properly balanced, and way, you'll be number 15 in my practice. And that's a great place to be.